What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming live and at you with another TruPlayaz podcast episode, hitting you with the in-your-face, unedited, straight, blunt talk about sports, finances, relationships, current events, and many other topics along the way. Check out my next episode. Hey, what's good, everybody? It's been Big Dom, host TruPlayaz podcast. Glad to be back with you guys. I don't know if it's going to be a special episode on IG Live or not. I'm going to have my brother Joey G join in. I'm about to invite him in. Boom. Let's get it. Just waiting for him to join us on the live. There it is. Joey G, what's going on, brother?
Chilling. What's good with the people?
I'm here, bro. I'm here. Had a little issue today. You know, 2024 has been a great start for me with the health wise and shit. Started the year with a upper respiratory infection, another pink eye, and now my ear is killing me right now. So I don't know what it is. There's no break for me so far.
I got you.
So
You get better. It's just beginning, like you said.
it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right?
True.
That's the proverbial thought process here.
True.
But decisions got to be made. There new decisions got to be made, and all that stuff. Just trying to avoid misunderstandings. And if I feel something if you feel something that you if you feel, how can I say? I'm gonna say much better.
Mm-hmm.
If someone told you something, or you read something via text message, you feel that you may misunderstand by your response, just best not to give a response and keep it trucking.
True.
You know what I'm saying, before it gets worse and before more misunderstandings happen. But the reason for this IG Live, I just want to go over meeting Strawberry back on Tuesday on the Say Word podcast. I want to give a big shout out to the Say Word podcast crew. JoJo, the host JoJo. Definitely check out his podcast, Say Word podcast. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Definitely had a great interview with the great Stephon Marbury, one of the greatest New York City point guards ever graced the stage. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm probably one of the many people who believe that Stephon Marbury still should be in the NBA Hall of Fame. So, like I said, it was great listening to Darryl speak on the show, the taping and all that stuff. That episode's definitely coming out. So I'm not gonna spill too much beans, but it was very informative. Talked about his life, his humble beginnings in South Central.
Gotcha.
So and then then eventually the interview led to he changed his life, leads a faith-based life by the word of God. You know what I'm saying? So it was very refreshing to hear him speak on that. I got a chance to shake hands with one of my idols, baseball idols. The reason why I played baseball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't beat that. Can't beat that. But what I've learned most importantly, when I heard him speak to JoJo off before the podcast, the taping started, that we as podcast hosts, if we want a top line guest, we got to make sure we provide them with a safe place to speak their piece, and give them the ability to you got to give them the reason to trust you.
Okay.
That's the one thing I learned from ear hustling in that conversation. You know, it was supposed to be somebody else that was supposed to be there as well, but unfortunately they weren't able to come. And that's it. It was a great opportunity to meet one of the great New York Mets and meet one of my idols. You can't beat that with a baseball bat.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
not at all.
And that's all I can say. This probably was the first time I was ever in awe of celebrity or a professional athlete because this is a guy I looked up to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even I try to emulate his batting style from the right side. I wasn't left-handed. Was not a left-handed hitting player. I was right-handed hitting, but I try to emulate him. So
Mm.
so that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? What else can we add to it? So I don't know how long we're gonna be on this IG live. This is just like I'm not sure if I'm even gonna make this an episode, but it's good to chop it up with Joey G. We do spontaneous shit here on the TruPlayaz podcast. It's only gonna get better. After I've seen the taping and all that, I think I definitely do it in like an in-person podcast type style podcast. It's to leave the way we've been doing it to elevate to that next level to give you guys great content, that we've always been providing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Joey G, what you got to put in? What you got to say?
I mean, there's definitely room to improve on everything. We're always looking to evolve and get to the next level. Um, a good thing with networking, we get to see how other people do their podcasts and pick and choose what we feel works for us, what we feel we can improve on, and utilize that in our podcast to make the great content and bring on the guests that people want to see. Um, it's all about the experience, to be honest with you. The more experience that you get, interact with, and be a part of, um, great things can happen. And and like you said, great experiences, um, and something to talk about. Great conversational pieces down the line, uh, not only for just regular day to day, but in future podcasts. This is something to talk about, and yeah, what got them on the show, and how you got to that point, where you came from, and how you evolved from a particular point in the podcast realm. Uh, it's all about evolving. As we grow as individuals, we're trying to get better. We try to make ourselves better, health wise, financial wise, spiritual wise, and just physically trying to get through the day to day. Whether we're dealing with the home situation, family wise, or we're dealing with the job situation, uh, we're always trying to get to the next level, if you will. And it's not always a grind about the money. It's a grind about a grind of life, learning and evolving. So as long as you can keep that perspective and keep it moving forward, then there's nothing to complain about. Just know that today wasn't your day. Dust yourself off. Tomorrow's another day. We could try it again. Let's get it.
Correct. That's what I learned today. I learned that today.
Hmm.
Uh, um,
I was this years old when I learned
no, no, no.
it.
We all knew this, but
Right.
we chose not to implement it until
Right.
we got a little bit older.
Right.
Um, it's just today it was encounter with somebody that you know very well, my other
Hmm.
half, and she said something that was like I may have misunderstood it when I read it a couple of times.
Hmm.
So instead of responding with a slick comment, I just was like, just stuck their hands. Keep it.
Right.
Um, I don't know how she's going to take it because I'm not going to sit there and make any insults. People take things the way they take things and give it a try. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
Adopt. If I exercise this level of
Strength.
patience, patience and restraint, I may not have not been with her. I probably would have been with another woman who
Mm.
we stopped dating because of that. Things were said, emotion got involved, my stigma started running, First time I got running, we stopped dating.
Right.
Okay? So, good learning experience. Like I said, I'm just off this high. I wish my health was better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wish my ear. I wish I didn't have no pain in my freaking ear. You know, I've been through the ringer since 2024 for no reason. But I could go into it. I believe it's more than just physical. I believe it's just the karma, the energies that's been brought into my realm and my
Right.
dwelling. I had,
Mm-hmm.
I had a sheer memory of my mother. I did it, but part of me is regretting it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Part of me is regretting it because when you give people an inch, you
Come on.
take 5 miles. This is
Mm-hmm.
the situation I'm dealing with right now,
Mm.
and I have to sit down and talk with the siblings
Mm-hmm.
because I have to implement an expiration date for it to be in my house.
Right.
That's that's the plan right now to implement an expiration date. I'm not going to live through this.
Right.
Motherfuckers could avoid me in the street from saying hello to me. When you
Mm-hmm.
sit in my house at the head of the table that belongs to me,
Right.
you don't get them to say hello.
Mm.
That's a problem. But like I said, you know, I'm gonna keep it political for now. But once I speak with the siblings, we're gonna implement an expiration date. It could
Right.
be tomorrow, could be next week. But I'm definitely gonna implement an expiration. Sorry to say, I'm not gonna go through this. I'm not gonna go through this. Period. I don't want to say it's not gonna happen again. I don't want to hear that shit. It happened. It, now you open the floodgates for for that stuff to happen. It's not gonna happen again. By 6 months or 6 months to a year, everyone has to leave. Real simple. I digress.
Mm-hmm. Where Where do you see the podcast? Where do you see the podcast in a couple months?
If everything goes according to plan, we will be doing at event spaces, in studio podcast. That means, bro, you got to get your frequent flyer miles up and down from Georgia to New York. That's what that means. We also going to implement, our brother Matthew into it too. When we talk about NBA basketball, which the Knicks are playing great right now.
Right.
The acquisition OG Anunoby scored 26 points, had 6 steals today, the blowout of the defending world champion Denver Nuggets. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? It was it was I hated the trade, but the trade is growing on me because of the chemistry of the team right now. I hate seeing RJ Barrett and IQ leave, but this chemistry right now is top notch. I would
Okay.
I would say close to being championship level chemistry.
Okay.
So that that's my feeling on this. But let me tell you something, bro. I I
Mm-hmm.
I, I indulge myself in betting. You know what I'm saying? I'm on FanDuel. I'm on FanDuel betting. I had the
Right.
opportunity to win $100 off a
Mm-hmm.
$10 bet yesterday.
Okay.
All this one player had to do was get one more fucking rebound. I would have made $100.
Mm.
I did a parlay. So basically, in order for you to win the bet, you got to win all the bets win all the small bets within that, which they call a parlay. I had
Mm-hmm.
3 out of 4, and the
Mm.
fourth one more rebound, one more fucking rebound. God damn it, one more fucking rebound. This is what we're talking about here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I hit the other day,
Mm-hmm.
but yesterday was not my day because of one fucking rebound.
Right.
Shit. But definitely, I feel the podcast is going to go places that we've never seen before. me and you just got to be on point
Hmm.
with our consistency. We got to be on point. We got to block out the negative energy that's around us and just get this done. Because by the end of the day, we're here to make money. We here to make money and provide great content. Once we make the great money, it's either the people that we're with are either going to act right or get replaced. It's real simple. Real simple.
And and there's nothing wrong with that because that's a part of life. Things
You know
can't
what I'm saying?
things can't be stagnant. Things
Mm-hmm.
have to flow.
Flowing without misunderstandings or learning how to talk through misunderstandings without getting our egos or feelings
Right.
involved. That's the issue. Even I have to learn that. So uh,
I think
it is what it is. But
I think my biggest flaw in in uh, in this situation is reaction, and it's as simple as a face gesture. My face gesture will get me in trouble more than my words will get me in trouble because people assume the worst. But I'm literally trying to figure out in my mind. My facial expression says what my mind would say typically, like just off of that reaction. So my facial expressions will say what my mind won't, but my mind is literally trying to figure out the situation and how to address it. So I have to work on this. I've never really had a poker face when it comes to a reactive situation. I usually wear it on my sleeves,
mm-hmm,
um, but I can be humble in a situation at the same time and hold it down and be diplomatic in a situation. It's just the initial reaction will say a lot. I used to say my facial expression is kind of like DMX.
mm-hmm,
my, that's the initial response is what?
mm-hmm,
But I've learned it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be that way. I'm a father of three, um, and I like to be around for them and teach them how to do it differently. So uh, I'm learning to deal or learning to do that better
true.
or react better uh, to those situations. The other parts are a little bit easier because it involves um, basically learning yourself, learning your triggers, and learning how to um, just be in a more positive space. And it doesn't necessarily need to be in a relationship to do so. It's just more of a self awareness and being able to move in a space where you're just happy with yourself. Now,
Mm-hmm,
everything outside of that is affected by it. Like you can affect everybody around you by that energy, but it's not necessary. Like my happiness is not dictated by somebody giving me happiness. It's not dictated like that. I don't see it that way. Um, it can add, a person can add to that or take away from that, but the purpose is to do it together and move forward, not do it individually or counteract the other person's happiness or well-being to fit what suits you best. So that's something you have to work on too. If you're in a relationship, marriage, whatever the case may be, you have to find a way to coexist while learning yourself, learning to move on a self level, not being selfish. Like, yo, this is mine. Everything around me is mine. Not on that level, but on a level where you're bringing them in, but you still have work to do. Like you can still be separate in a relationship and still move as a unit. Separately, you have to do things individually because what I'm capable of doing, you may not be able to do what I do. So I need you to do the things I can't on your end. So we both have an individual job to do moving forward for a common goal. But we get caught up in the, well, you missed this and you didn't do this, but nobody's being delegated to do said things. If they're delegated and we're delegating, you do this, great, so you handle that. I do this, great, so I'll handle that. And you move forward like that, then you have something to work with. But if you're fighting on the, oh, you didn't do that, you missed that step over there, and then chaos, chaos,
Hmm.
you're not going to go anywhere.
True. True. Definitely. I want to give a big shout out to Mars, Down the
Mm,
Den podcast. Shout out to Live Neutral.
okay.
Shout out to Cameron with
Hmm.
the political podcast about the presidents and stuff like that. It was just going to be a big election. Unfortunately, I just believe we're going to go back to Trump.
I haven't looked. I haven't looked too much into it. Um, I liked what I see in the beginning of the debates. Uh, there was a lot of things that were said that it was like, okay, it's not the typical race.
Hmm.
One dude came out swinging, the rest are sitting there trying to polish stuff. he was like, no,
Hmm.
and called them out. And called them out. I like that type of politics where it's like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what you've been doing. You said that before. We have the receipts. Not the, oh, well, this person is a bad person, and I don't want to hear none of that.
Right.
I want to hear about the receipts. I want to know, okay, that person said that, and you're holding them accountable for not producing what they said they
Hmm.
were going to do. Um, I like those type of individuals, and hopefully they're the type of individuals to not only point that out, but still be active in pursuing what they said they were going to do coming in to the political realm.
Right. But guess what, guys? The silver lining is if Trump gets a second term,
Hmm.
remember these next 4 years is his final term. So
Hmm.
once he completes that, you don't have to worry about him no more.
Right.
But on the flip side is, do you guys really want Biden, who can barely speak, be your president again next 4 years?
I can't speak on Biden. Like I thought he would have been a great selection due to him being vice president as Barack Obama was president of the United States. So I assumed some of that would have rubbed off in what he was planning on to do in the office. But I haven't seen much, and to be honest with you, I haven't been really following to know what he has and has not done. I see clips and different things. It's just like, but I'll say this: there
Hmm.
has to be a limit to the age of a president going into office. Has to be. Has to be.
I
Has to
think
be.
Trump's up there too. So
Yeah,
it affects
I'm
both candidates.
I'm just saying there has to be an age limit. Like if there's a if there's a retirement age, that should be implemented as far as the presidency is concerned. Just like they do in any federal job, um, a secret agent to be to be an example.
Hmm.
20 years before your retirement age. 20 years. That span, you have that window. Other than that, no. We want somebody young, yes.
Hmm.
We'll say 40. 40 is a good cap because you have life experience up to the age of 40. After that period, you should have a professional career and you have a good stay understanding up to a certain point and some years in to get some things figured out. So that's a good beginning point. Up to up to the age of 60.
Mm-hmm.
Up to the age of 60. And within 8 years of your term.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at, what is that? That would be 42. No, 52. 52 minimum. I'm going to give a close window,
Yeah.
but it makes more sense to do it that way.
And one thing I would change too, if you're an incumbent president, you lose the election, you should not be allowed to run again. If you're the incumbent president and you lose that election, you should not be allowed to run again.
Okay. Why do you feel that way?
They were voted out in the first 4 years for a reason.
Okay.
Because my fear is if Trump comes back into the office,
Mm-hmm.
to which I'm not saying I'm in agreement, but I'm not in disagreement either.
Mm-hmm.
This year voting, I may not even vote at all.
Mm.
So I'm not a believer in both candidates. I'm not gonna sit there and vote for the sake of voting for the lesser evil. I think
Right.
that was wrong.
Right.
Um, that was wrong to do the thing that way, because
Mm-hmm.
guess what? This president cost me my job at the hospital. He was
Mm-hmm.
behind the mandates of the jab. He
Right.
pushed for that. Some states followed, some states didn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he did not provide any recourse. Did not provide any solutions. He just wanted things done his way and the highway because of his handlers. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact of the matter is, you can boast unemployment rates, but it's jaded because you're not including people who lost their jobs because they use their constitutional right of free thinking,
Mm-hmm.
freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
Mm-hmm.
When you think it's a form of expression, you took away the ability to have a livelihood,
Mm-hmm.
to pay to provide dwelling for their family,
Mm-hmm.
provide food on the table for their children, just
Mm-hmm.
because of a highly politicized injection that does not work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be the president of everybody, not for people who follow your way. And this is where he lost me. He,
Mm.
he lost me. Even though we celebrated on the podcast the great history, first black woman president, all that shit was out the window after like fucking 2 months.
Mm.
After 2 months of them being in the office, this is some bullshit.
Right.
This is some shit of bullshit. And we got to sit there stuck it up for 4 years. And you know what I'm saying? This woman doesn't even deserve to be a fucking vice president. Anyway,
But I had, I'm going to say this, and I think we've had this conversation before, but I've never said it on the podcast. When it comes down to presidents, we had a long history of presidents that disappointed us in some way, shape, or form or fashion. We had good presidents, like a Jimmy Carter. Um, uh, Maybe you could say Clinton. Um,
Clinton was bad. He put Clinton put money in my pocket.
Maybe you could say Clinton. Barack Obama. But in between that, we had presidents that was just like they would push it all the way up to the edge, and you'd be like, "Wow, can't wait for this guy to get out of there." And
Mm-hmm.
then after the pressure of so long, and be like, "All right," the disapproval of the people, then we put somebody in there with a smiley face, and it kind of diffuses the situation. And then we reset and we start again. So after Clinton comes out of office, who do we put back in office? The son of the president prior. So we put him in office. Now we got 8 years of ridiculousness.
It's not as bad as what we're doing. It's not as bad as what we're dealing with right now.
No, it's
Not as bad as
not.
not as
It's
bad as what
not.
we're dealing with
The
right now.
measurement, the
The
measurement of
past 8 years between Trump and Biden,
right.
he was actually they made him look good.
They did. They did. And I said, believe I said that on a podcast where I was like, it got me reflecting and thinking, well, George Bush wasn't really that bad.
No,
Um, and it's, I don't like to be force fed when it comes to politics. I
mm,
don't, I don't like to be force fed. And it seems like the last 4 to 8 years has been force fed. Like you're gonna do what we tell you to do. I'm just saying it's a suggestion that you do what we say to do because you do have rights, but you should do this.
let me tell you. Let me explain something. Let me explain something to you, bro. To the people who's watch this IG live right now. We pay for our freedom.
And that's true. You pay taxes, you pay for your freedom.
Basically, we're paying taxes and we're not being represented properly. Think about that for a second. Is that why we had this revolution in
Right.
1776 in which the Haitians bailed them out? They were losing. Did I say that out loud? Did I say that out loud? The Haitians bailed America out?
It's deeper than that, though. You came from England. You came from England to do it your way, only to redo what they did
200
under the
years
guy
later,
on on the guise of freedom.
protecting our freedom. How you protected our freedom on someone else's soil? This boggles my fucking mind. Man.
That
Boggles my
that you
fucking mind, guys.
you
I'm
might
sorry,
as you might as well say we're still doing the Crusades.
motherfucker. We became the imperialists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
A
I'm
lot of countries, a lot of countries look at us like that, and that's not a good look.
for me. I've seen all this money going to Ukraine.
Hmm.
All the money, all the tax money that they say I owe taxes from last year.
Hmm.
I got to pay that to help them pay for Ukraine, help them pay for Israel to go bomb innocent Palestinians, blowing up hospitals and shit. I'm not saying no Palestinians are good, but when
No,
you cross the line when you're killing civilians, you cross your lines.
especially the children.
Children, cross your lines when you're blowing up hospitals. And you basically tell everybody you ain't going to stop till you eliminate everybody.
This is the same. This is the same thing they're screaming about the Holocaust, weren't
Yeah,
they?
it sure was.
But 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 that's a specific a group of people,
Hmm.
specific group of people that are held in a higher regard than others.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. This group of people is not held in a higher regard than the other people. So we're going to back these people up and the hell with the other people. It's to me it's mind-boggling as far as that. I don't understand going into war for another country in another country that has nothing to do with us. We have enough trouble and stuff in this country to fix that we don't need to be a part of somebody else's war or whatever the case. Let them figure it out. If they want to blow themselves up to kingdom come, then let them do that. But over here, we need to get our house in order. Our house is not.
Hmm.
We have
You know the funny,
Go ahead.
that's this is where you have to give Trump credit.
Hmm.
He gave us a stimulus check. He gave us stimulus checks for us.
Hmm.
Has Biden never thought about giving us a stimulus check at all?
No, if I remember it correctly, he pulled back on that. They were supposed to, but they pulled back. The
Just
the
I'm just
the conversation was had. If I remember correctly, the conversation was had. It was
hmm
supposed to be done, but it was pulled back.
hmm
But you have to have those. specific type of people in office in order for that to happen. Like they see it's been more beneficial for us to be taken care of than go out.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're using our resources, our money, our military equipment for this and our people to go over there
Mm-hmm.
and fight these wars. We're going to lose all those resources for a war we shouldn't even be part of. What's now if you're thinking strategically,
Mm-hmm.
what do you hope to gain from that? What resources are you trying to acquire? What support are you trying to acquire in that situation? The backing of a Palestinian people? I don't get it.
We will never get it because we're not the powers that be. They'll the people at the powers that be also have it's their powers that be. Create
it
create chaos and dissension throughout the world. That's the main objective to remain in power. You know, if
I
you
mean, it's a simple structure system, though.
mm,
Simple. You see it on Instagram. You see it on TikTok. It's right there in plain sight. We live on a monetary structure. People are praised and valued on what they provide.
that's
Period.
it.
Praised and valued on what they provide. To the point it affects relationships all the way down the structure to relationships. You can see it in relationships also.
Big time. Big time. It's crazy. This world is crazy. We just shifted off some highlights, some great things that we did. Meet people, meet our idols. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we talk
Well,
about politics. We talk about politics and stuff like that. You see how we switch up? That's
no,
what
but
makes the True Players
this
podcast the podcast it
that's a part of the
is.
that's a part of the podcast for people who are watching. It's a part of the insight that we have when we're on the podcast and what we talk about, how we go about dissecting the conversation. It's not always one sided. We try to give you perspective, different ways of looking at things, so you can make an informed decision on how to approach your situation or how to think about situation. It's all about critical thinking. And hopefully, uh, I can be a tool. Big Dom can be a tool for you to utilize in helping you make informed decisions as far as what to move forward with on the decision and how to look at something and how to see somebody else's point of view. It's just that simple.
Well said. Well said. Also, when you're reading a text, don't respond with emotion because you don't know the energy where that particular text comes from. So,
You know, it's funny. I've I fell into the trap a couple of times, and I forget that what you write in a text message, people don't interpret it on the other end like you were saying it.
mm-hmm.
Unless they know you, like they know you, they can literally hear you say the text message. So they can see your facial expressions. They know what you mean when you say it. And people that don't, they'll read it and they'll go, "Oh, what do you mean by that?"
And even if you don't say, if you don't respond, you could be in trouble for not responding. But
Right.
sometimes not responding is the best course at the time, so you can recollect your thoughts, get some sleep on it, and then just
Come,
move on to the next day. You know what I'm
right. Come
saying? I
back to it.
I was
Come back to
at a point. I was at a point. I was going to reach out tomorrow. I was not going to say good morning, nothing like that. I was even thinking about ending the damn relationship. That's how angry I was. But you know what? You have to think about it further. And you know, I'm not. I don't like to talk about my stuff on the podcast. So I'm not gonna talk about it.
Uh,
So
but
that's not. It's not that big of it. It's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. But um, time frames. Time frames. With certain people, you need to understand who the fuck they are already.
all right,
You know what I'm saying? People complain around the women complain about how they don't have a ring on their finger. They want a ring on their finger after 2 years. That's not smart. And no one can tell me, no one can dictate to me when I should put a ring on their finger.
mm-hmm.
Saying I'm trying to earn your heart for the forever.
Right,
So therefore, you got to earn that ring for the forever too. I'm
right,
not one of these individuals who's interested to get married to be divorced. I'm not in that business.
right,
But since that's going to be, we're not going to even put that ring on you.
right.
I'm not in that business.
And and it's it's a well thought out plan to think of it like that. I can't knock you for thinking like that.
Let
Um,
let me give you a reason why. Sorry to cut you off.
no, go for
Because I
it.
was not raised in that atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
My parents could have been divorced at three different situations.
Mm-hmm.
They had conversation. They provided. They both came up with solutions.
Mm-hmm.
They both apologized.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped being critical and realized what they have in front of them.
Right,
And that's why they stuck together for 40 years.
right. Would you say they stopped competing against one another?
The most important thing with my parents was I never sensed that they were competing against each other. They were They were competing with each other for each other.
Right, right.
If I'm saying it
Mm-hmm.
correctly, they're on the same team, even though there
Right.
could be some disagreements here and there,
What's
which
a
there were
part of it?
a lot, which is a lot.
What's a
Let me tell you something.
part of it?
My mom was a sweetheart. You know, she was a sweetheart woman. People thought she was a pushover because she was quiet. My father, on the other hand, was an obnoxious man, obnoxious man who knew who the fuck he was.
Right,
You know, it was with a friend tell you about it.
right.
He stayed on his tent. Like this, he was probably the only one of the few men I knew who I come from. I come from his fabric who walk with the walk, walk the talk, walk with the big stick. And according to my mom, had the big stick, so that
Right,
makes him absolute.
right,
He walked the walk, talked the walk, carried the whole family that wasn't even on his when that's not even on his carried the whole family that's not even his blood on his back.
right.
That makes him absolute. You know, um, I don't know if I could ever be absolute.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time I could have. There was a time I could have. Not even, not even. I think just before mom passed away, I was on that level. Just see the right partner to enhance it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Um, would I say did I have the right partner before my mom died that probably could have enhanced it? Yes, I did. But not thinking, get caught up in emotion,
Mm-hmm.
and my slick mouth cost me that. Her slick mouth cost that too. It wasn't just me.
Right.
Let me be clear. It wasn't just me.
Mm.
One reason I can say for sure is the type of electricity we had between each other was dangerous. It was explosive, it was electric.
Mm.
But, you know, that also was to our detriment as well. You know, so Plus, I'll go on record and say that at the time I chose the wrong Virgo woman. I put it out there. At the time,
Right.
I'm not with a Virgo woman now, but
Coming into 2024, I'm digging through old stuff
Mhm.
and looking at old text messages, and I found exactly what I was looking for. And
Which is
and speaking on friendships that have gone awry,
hmm
and I have the receipts.
hmm make
And I
sure you
said,
screenshot it.
and I don't have to. I have a record, a detailed doc from 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 one point in time to 2022, I believe. And all I can say is, like I said before, it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
when I read it,
hmm
when I read it
hmm
verbatim, because I had to read it 2 or 3 times, it had
hmm
nothing to do with me. You assumed it was me, but it wasn't me. You let other people tell you it was me,
hmm
and it wasn't me. You thought it fit the situation, but it was not me. I'm just gonna leave it there like that.
Okay. When we have a chance, we have opportunity to speak offline about that, or we'll talk
Yeah,
about it
yeah.
offline. So,
I give that's crazy, and it just popped up yesterday because I was doing a little cleaning from the computer and stuff like that. So
mhm,
moving files around, I was able to activate your hard drive,
mhm.
move all the files that you needed over there, put the games on that specific hard drive. Now I just have to throw some minor stuff on there and call it a day. And you're good to go as far as that's concerned.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Appreciate that. Appreciate
No,
that.
no problem.
But also, I want to introduce everyone to what I'm planning to do, and I think Joey G's in the loop on this too, is introducing TruPlayaz Podcast Gaming,
Hmm.
which we're going to be streaming live for you guys certain video games that we love to play, whether it's retro or up to date games. Um, Possibly give you a live strategy guide on how to beat certain levels. A few games I hope to start playing again from start to finish is some of the Final Fantasy
Hmm.
games and
I was what?
stream
I
them
was
live,
wondering.
stream
I'm
them
not
live.
playing those games by myself.
No, 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 no. Stream them live, each level at a time. We're not gonna sit there and play the whole game. We don't. I don't have time for that. I got a full time job, two businesses. I ain't got time to do all that, but I will make time to do that. We'll give you
I
guys at
got
least an hour, 2 hours of my time during the weekend to whatever game it's available.
you.
Whether it's Final
I got
Fantasy or it's like Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. We going retro. We can even go Sega Genesis. We go Double Dragon. I'm telling you, once we get started. Now, I'm tentatively, Joe, you're gonna hear it here on this IG live, this podcast
you.
episode, which possibly will be on YouTube only. It won't be on any other platform but except for YouTube and Patreon. This episode.
Hmm.
Once I know how to extract it from IG, it's gonna be on YouTube and Patreon only. So if you're gonna look for this on Facebook, it's not gonna be on Facebook. IG, it's gonna be on IG Live, YouTube, and Patreon. That's how we're gonna do this. So tentatively, I'm looking to get this started by March 1st.
Copy.
March 1st. Of course, Joey G's a technical guy, so he's going to show me how to get everything set up properly. So we provide you with that uninterrupted for you.
You'll have you'll have those in your hard drive as well.
Yeah,
The programs you'll need.
got
That's nothing.
got you. So it's going to be. Though when we do TruPlayaz podcast, game is gonna be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TV. That's what's gonna be on. Um, like I said, hope to give you guys, you new things to look at, and also bring about the studio time, live studio podcasting, less Zoom or StreamYard type podcasters. As you can see, the last two episodes, my camera goes out on me in the middle of the freaking podcast where I have to run and get my cell phone to finish all the podcasts. I hate doing that. I try to provide you guys with professional content, which includes cameras. You know what I'm saying? I'm very embarrassed by that. I do
Mm-hmm.
apologize for those technical mishaps, but that's usually why we gotta do everything in person, live.
Right.
Okay? So, like I said, Joey G gonna get his frequent flyer miles from New York to Georgia. I'm telling you, every 2 weeks we have to come up. Now I'm not saying we won't do the StreamYard podcast or none of that. I'm not saying we'll stop doing that. We'll continue to keep doing that. We'll still keep continue to do that. Any one of you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on my email, truplayazpodcast@gmail.com. It's TRUPLAYAZ podcast@gmail.com. I'm also always looking for guest hosts to join me on the podcast. Talk about anything. Relationships, sports, of course. Even if you don't like the Knicks, even if you don't like the Mets, you don't like the Jets, you don't like the Giants. If you want to talk about your team, you can come on the show too.
We don't
We
discriminate.
don't discriminate. We're trying to bring more diversity into the True Players podcast. And my dream is as far as I believe it's Joey's too, is bring back the third guy in the Trinity,
Hmm.
Ricky Brown, back to the fold. That's been our dream.
The brother from another mother.
Yes, yes. True indeed.
Pretty Ricky is what they call
Exactly.
him.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to, what I want to talk, speaking to more into mental health too, because me personally, I've neglected that.
Hmm.
I feel that that needs to be spoken about more, and
Hmm.
how it's really a disease out there. Really a disease out there. I just want to, if anyone who suffers from that, I'd love to do an episode on that.
Right.
Myself and Joey G sit there and ask you questions and how you went through it, what you do to overcome it. It's still a constant battle, like anything. What people don't realize, mental health does lead to substance abuse.
It does.
Remember
And
that.
or it could be that medications being used can put you into that position also, not realizing that certain medications you take have certain side effects and they alter your chemistry to make you feel certain ways, and they push you to a level.
A little
Check.
technical difficulties.
Okay.
Bro, you
Uh,
got to restart what you were about to say. You kind of
I
froze
said
up a
they,
bit.
yeah, I guess my headphones were trying to connect from the pods. Um, what I was saying was there's certain medications that you take that have certain side effects, unbeknownst to you, with your body chemistry. They're made to help you through a situation, but they can also alter your mental state. So if you can be in a regular normal state once taking the medication, the side effect of the medication may bring you down to a level you've never been before. You may have hallucinations where you hear certain things and your you auditory responses and things like that. So you have to be careful. You have to talk to your doctors as far as this is concerned. And this is one thing I've been saying. You have to know yourself. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't know yourself and you assume it to be your true inner voice, then yeah, you may go that route. You may
True.
dig deeper into to realms you haven't been in, uh, just to get the pain out. Uh, I can say, fortunately, I understand my inner voice. I know what is a feeling. I know what is an emotion. I know what is environment, and somewhat spiritual too. And you have to be present with those things in order to get through. Um, if Ricky was on the podcast right now or on Instagram Live, he would probably tell you that there's it's one thing to be depressed. It's another thing to be bummed out.
Mhm.
We can bounce back from being bummed out. Depression is a state, a
Mhm.
constant state.
Mhm.
You can't really get over it. It's kind of like a cloud or overhead cast. You can't really get out of that. Certain days they'll be better than others, where it's a nice
Mhm.
sunny day, and you can walk through the day fine. There's other days where it's just harder than others,
Mhm.
and that's different than having an emotion on a certain thing where you broke up with somebody, you just lost a relative or something. That's a state of maybe you're bummed out. You can't deal with that situation. You don't know how to deal with that situation. Difference from being depressed and once again bummed out. And had it not been for Ricky explaining it to me or breaking it down on the podcast like that, I think I wouldn't have the understanding that I do now as far as this situation is concerned. Um, and I've been in both. I've been in both situations. I've just gotten better with dealing with it. I understand my triggers. I understand what uh, what brings my episodes on and how to diffuse the situation a little bit better. I need to work on my health a little bit more as far as exercising and things like that. And I think I would be more complete. But as you can see, I have been working on my health because I've
Mhm.
lost weight. I've lost weight in the face, my body, and the drinking is not so much as it was before. I think it was on a every day to every other day, down to nothing, nothing right now. By choice, by choice. Will I drink again? Yes, I will. But now is not that time. We're not celebrating anything right now. We're not celebrating anything. It's not a time to do that. It's a time for progression. It's a time to handle our business. So we're in a business state right now, working towards that. I'd rather drink sodas, to be honest with you, and which I have been doing.
Oh,
And
that's not good. The soda's not good for you either, but it's the lesser of two evils. You know what I'm
it's a
saying?
it's the lesser of two evils, and at the same time, it's entertaining. It's entertaining me instead of the drink. The drink is not entertaining me. The soda is entertaining me, and the drink is not. So I could work with that. Need a little bit more ice.
Actually, I'm actually. This is two things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get me a portable ice maker
uh,
in my house. Also, trying to. I think I get me a George Foreman grill. Tell me my burgers in the George Foreman grill.
that is actually pretty good. The George Foreman grills, I sponsor that. I sponsor that. I really do like them. Uh, nice juicy burgers. I just have to do. I have I have to walk away from the patties, the pre-made patties, like the
Hmm.
Bubba Burgers and the Walmart versions and what great value and all of that. I have to get away from that and make
Ground
ground
beef.
beef patties,
Yes. You
ground
know,
beef
you,
patties and put them on
you
there.
can purchase it from the supermarket as well. The ground.
I do,
The
but I feel like you get less. You could they're
yeah.
pre-made, but they're not they're not your mama's burgers
But
like like Eddie Murphy was saying. the, that's not a McDonald burger.
but you know what? You know which place you get the actual Mama's burgers?
Huh.
I'm a BJ's. You get like 20. You get like 18 of them. It's like. is like charge like $25 to $30.
That's about right because it's about ground beef is about that. They,
85% lean. You know, get,
whew,
get your protein in, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, get your protein
listen, I get enough of that from chicken
in.
right now, but every once in a while I do want a nice burger, like a Five
Same here.
Guys, like a Five Guys burger.
I want the five. I want the five. I want the Five Guys. Five Guys fries. That's what I want.
Yeah, but I want the unlimited Five Guys fries. That's what I want also. Yes, unlimited. If you ever been to Five Guys, it's unlimited fries, ladies and gentlemen. Unlimited. I don't think you're gonna eat unlimited fries, but they're available.
True that. True that. True that. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna conclude our IG Live episode of the TruPlayaz podcast. I have to get Joe. Joe gonna be on my case to make sure I'm able to just take this off Instagram and then post it on YouTube as well as Patreon, and also provide you the audio version as well on Anchor, Breaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Yes, I am on Amazon Podcasts, ladies and gentlemen. Would you believe that? I'm on it. I made it. and bro, any final words?
If you put the work in, you'll see the results in your life, in your work, in your relationships, and with your family. That's all I got for you today.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna sign off on this IG Live. Man, Big Time signing off. Peace. Check out the next episode.